G'day again, it's me here, and I'm at it again, saying stuff for Abloocus the Old. He has come up with this little gem of a story. It's called The Reason of the Unreasonable, and it's based on this quote. Reasonable people adapt themselves to the world. Unreasonable people persist in adapting the world to themselves. Therefore, all progress depends on unreasonable people. I just know you're going to enjoy it.
And thus, the story begins.
A dusty mob of kangaroos grazed quietly in the distance as Tom Connolly knelt in the rich virgin earth, his hands planting seeds with a reverence that the hard land had slowly taught him. Once a convict sentenced to a chain, Tom had learned that to survive here, on this harsh new continent, it would be a matter of adaptation. Lord Percival Winston, however, arrived with the latest fleet, his trunk brimming with fine suits and a mind crowded with notions of empire. As he stood on the rocky overlook, his gaze didn't see land. He saw a kingdom awaiting his rule, untouched and unruly. "This wilderness shall be tamed," he declared, his voice echoing against the indifferent cliffs. Tom lived differently. Over the years, he had formed a bond with the local Aboriginal tribes. They shared knowledge of seasons, soil, and streams. Under their guidance, Tom learned that nature, in order to be controlled, must first be obeyed. Adhering to this philosophy, Tom learned to make the land his home. Lord Winston had no patience for the delicate balance of this ecosystem or its people. He brought with him sheep that raised the ground, and men who scared off the kangaroo, fouled the rivers and scoured the land. "These lands need order," he insisted as he constructed fences to contain his field of domination. During a typical parched Australian summer, wildfires devastated Winston's estate. His crops withered and his livestock perished. Tom, whose crops flourished due to his adherence to the natural rhythms of the land, extended a portion of his harvest. "Adaptation is key," Tom advised, his weathered face reflecting the deep insights gained from the land. "Adaptation?" Winston scoffed, the word as foreign as the soil under his splendid British boots. "No, Connolly, it is this wild land that must adapt to my will." Years passed, and the settlement grew despite Winston's failures. Newcomers, observing the success of Tom's methods, sought his advice, adapting to the land rather than forcing it to surrender. They learned from the indigenous people, embraced the strange seasons, and thrived. Winston, isolated in his ever-diminishing estate, grew bitter with each solitary sunset. His dreams of a dominion were dashed on the unyielding shore of his own stubbornness. In a quiet reflection by the firelight, Tom pondered the old saying that had travelled through conversation across the oceans. Reasonable people adapt themselves to the world. Unreasonable people persist in adapting the world to themselves. Therefore, all progress depends on unreasonable people. He realised, with a hint of sadness, that perhaps it was true. Men like Winston pushed the world, often too hard, and sometimes it moved. Yet, it was those who moved with the world, like Tom, who truly understood its paths. It's a very unfortunate fact of life, but perhaps progress is indeed in the hands of unreasonable, domineering people. Those who challenge the status quo so relentlessly that they force those reasonable souls to yield and conform, or be bulldozed aside and left for dead.
And there you have it. As time unfolded, sadly, history revealed that the obstinate, unfortunately, do indeed often forge paths to progress. Tom, his fellow convicts, and so many of the indigenous folk, champions of nature's wisdom, faded into obscurity. Their legacy preserved only in tales such as this. Their sacrifice, a testament to the enduring power of resilience, echoes through generations, reminding us of the transformative journey from Australia's early settlement days of endurance and adversity to today. Thank you for listening. For me, this has been an absolute blast. I'll catch you later.